Welcome back to Neo Royal House of Pricey Cardboard. Me and Kelly decided to proxy some of the newly announced Commander deck to create some content for you. The first two are gonna be the Sultai, Enhanced Evolution, and the Abzan, Symbiotic Swarm. We did a couple of games before recording, trying out the different commanders, and Kelly went with the partner duo, Ukkima and Cazur, while I picked Tayam, Luminous Enigma. To give you a quick idea of what the deck aims to do, Kelly's precons contains a lot of mutate, a lot of draw spells, and a lot of removals. All three commanders' choice are valid, Ukkima being good stats for commander damage, while returning the mutate cards you might lose during the game. Cazur and Ukkima try to close the game with sneaky unblockable commander damage, and Zyraxa, the exemplary, making the most out of the X spells in the deck while ramping you by 2. Since these precons lack a little bit in the ramp department and you have 10 X spells, I would recommend Zyraxa the Exemplary, especially out of the box. This commander will probably make the precon work the smoothest. For my precon, we have a lot of keywords and some decent graveyard plays. While I'm convinced that a deck built around Kethril would work, I would not recommend him out of the box as you can't really fill your graveyard and Kethril ends up being somewhat dud. Nikira and Yannick are a little better as Yannick can put +1/+1 counters into your board, but for that you need to not play them on curve and cast other creatures before. You also lose on the fact that when they are in the deck, they will find each other when entering the battlefield. All of this, while not having a lot of ramp, make this composition pretty slow and clunky. So that's why I picked Tayam. He gives counter on all your creatures, which can be used to fill your graveyard and return small permanents to the battlefield. Overall, a much better experience with Tayam in my opinion. My opening hand contains Slippery Bug Bonder, Soul Flayer, Unburial Rites, Cartographer's Hawk, Sakura Tribe Elder, Celestia's Sanctuary, and a basic swamp. Kelly's opening hand contains Animist Awakening, Chilling Harvester, Insatiable Hemophage, Sunken Hollow, and 3 basic forest. I win the less valuable Precon award and start this off. I land drop a basic swamp and pass to Kelly, who land drops a Myriad Landscape tapped. I then land drop a Celestia's Sanctuary, returning my swamp to my hand. Kelly land drops a Sunken Hollow tapped and pass. For my next turn, I replay the basic swamp and cast a Sakura Tribe Elders. Kelly land drops a forest and crack her Myriad Landscape for 2 basic swamp. I sacrifice my Elder to fetch a forest at the same time. I land drop a Cave of Kolios and cast my commander, Tayam, Luminous Enigma. I then pass. Kelly land drops a forest and casts one of hers, Ukkima, Stalking Shadow, before ending her turn. I cast Cartographer's Hawk, which get a Vigilance counter from Tayam. I follow it up with a Nyx Weaver and head into combat. I send Tayam to Kelly for 3 commander damage and pass. Kelly land drops another forest and mutate Insatiable Hemophage into her commander, losing me 1 life, gaining 1, and giving Death Touch to Ukkima. At this moment, it wasn't confirmed if commander damage would work if Ukkima would not be on top, so she didn't make it into a 3/3. She goes to combat and sends the mutated Whale Wolf to me for 2 unblockable commander damage. In second main, she casts a Fertilid and pass. At my upkeep, I put the top 2 cards of my deck into my graveyard and then draw. I go straight to combat, sending Tayam, my Spider and my Hawk to Kelly. Upon dealing damage, the Cartographer's Hawk returned to my hand and I put Canopy Vista to the battlefield tapped. In my second main phase, I cycle a Void Beaconer and put a Death Touch counter on my commander. I then recast the Hawk and give the turn to Kelly. She then drops a basic forest and mutate a Chittering Harvester onto the Fertilid, making it a 4/6, and I sacrifice the Nyx Weaver to its mutate trigger. She goes to combat and Ukkima deals me 2 more commander damage. I untap and land drop an Exotic Orchard. I go to combat and send Tayam and my Hawk to Kelly. Kelly removes a counter from the Fertilid to put a basic from her deck to the battlefield and then block my commander. Tayam and the mutation trade because of the Death Touch counter, and the Hawk returns to my hand in exchange of a plane on my battlefield. I then cast Unburial Rites, targeting Akroma, Angel of Wrath. I then recast my Loyal Hawk and end my turn. Kelly cast her second commander, Cazur, Ruthless Stalker. She then mutate Ukkima into Cazur, making it a 6/6. We realized after the game that this wasn't a legal move as mutate can't work on a human, but this doesn't really affect the game. She goes to combat and send back Ukkima to my life points. Cazur triggers and put a +1/+1 counters on his partner. She then pass. I begin my turn by recasting Tayam. I then send Akroma and the Hawk to Kelly for 8 damage in the sky. The Hawk does not return to my hand as Kelly does not control more lands than me. I end my turn. Kelly casts a non-gearing Hydra, where X equals 7. She goes to combat and Ukkima deals me 3 more damage before gaining a +1/+1 counter. She then pass. I cast a Nornet Queen, creating 4 1/1 tokens with flying and dead touch. The Queen and her subjects gain vigilance counters from Tayam. I go to combat and send Akroma with her pet Hawk once more. Kelly then begins her turn and land drops a basic island. She mutates Souvenir Snatcher onto the Hydra. I do not own any artifacts, so the mutate triggers does nothing. She head into combat and send Ukkima to me for 4 points of damage. I then untap and cast an Abzen Ascendancy, putting a +1/+1 counter on all my creatures. I then activate Tayam, removing 3 of my vigilance counters to mill 3 and return the Aura Parasitic Impetus to my battlefield. I enchant my Hornet Queen and head into combat. I send all my creatures to Kelly, and with only 1 flying creature, she takes lethal damage. Looking back at this game, Akroma is one of the best cards in the Abzen deck with Odric, and finding any of these 2 will help you close the game a lot faster, especially in 1v1. Kelly didn't have a bad game, finding multiple mutate creatures and outrun me to recur them, but not finding enough flyers does not forgive in 1v1. Also, now that we know that Ukkima can be mutated over and still deal commander damage, it makes it a lot more dangerous. I have another game recorded with these 2 decks, and depending on how these videos are liked, we will maybe proxy some of the other precons. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. If you have any other proposition on what content we could make with 2 players and our decks, let us know in the comments. Take care, my friend.